Tanya and welcome. And in this video I was going to just take you through some Pilates equipment, because I'm sure you might have seen lots of stuff on YouTube and Google and don't really know what it's for. So, and also if you come to the studio then you'll get to know what we use. So let's start with that. So this is actually a yoga strap, but for some of the exercises like a rocking where you lie on your front and grab your feet, sometimes I find the strap is better than the bands. Or if we're lying on our back with the legs straight up in the air for a hamstring stretch, sometimes I find the straps are better, especially for the men. It gives them it's a bit more tougher, whereas the bands are a little bit more springy, so it's a bit harder for them to hold the legs up. And I say men just because men tend to be a little bit tighter. I'm not being sexist, so we have different color bands. The yellow is really easy, so we tend to use this probably for a lot more shoulder work, that kind of stuff. So that's the yellow. So what we might do in a class is, we can use the bands to help make things easier, we can use the bands to help make things harder, or sometimes we'll use all the bands and just see how bands make the exercise feel different. So the purple one is the stronger one, the harder one. So this people always think, oh, just because it's the hard band, it will make something harder. Actually, it can make something easier because it's giving you more assistance. And then we have the pink, which we debate in the class. Is it pink? Is it coral? Is it salmon? So you let me know which one you think it is. And again, if you're going to buy these online, they may not, different companies have different colors. So you just have to check what their color. I think that is like a beginner, intermediate maybe, and I think like an advanced, they might call it. So if you take the first 3 levels, it'll probably be those. So this is a weighted ball. Now you would use 2, so there would be for hand exercises and that kind of thing. I also have little dumbbells, which I actually prefer, because they've got little straps on, so it's a bit easier for people to hold. But these are squishy, to help keep that wrist alignment when people are holding that. So this one is 1.5 kilograms, which actually doesn't sound much, but when you're using them for an hour, it's like, oh my word, that weighs a ton now. So these are little weighted balls. These are bend balls. I think in the old days they used to be called over balls. So we can make these soft or hard. Now we like to make our clients work, so we make them quite hard. But they are squishy and they're designed to lie on. So the material is expandable, so they won't pop or anything like that. We can use them for lying on, we can use them in the back, we can use them between the ankles. Very versatile. You can use them under the head for a nice little neck stretch, head massage. So these, again, you might find them as bendable or overball on the internet. You can get different colors as well. So this is the ring of torture, or the steering wheels. So it's more known as a Pilates ring or magic ring, magic circle. This is one of Joseph Pilates', I'm just going to sit on the ball. This is one of Joseph Pilates' designs. So it comes off of the beer kegs, I believe. So you can put this between the thighs, you can use it between the arms, between the ankles, between the knees, ankles on the inside and open up. Again, lots of things you can do with this. The clients normally want to cry when I bring these out. It's another time I'm a little bit naughty in the class and I say, oh, I know how to make 12 ladies quiver without touching them. Just give them a ring and within minutes their legs are shaking. So, and then the next one is the massage ball, spiky ball. So again, you can blow this up, so it's quite hard, but I actually like a little bit softer. And they've got little spikes on and they help release fascia. So if I've done like a really tough side-lying series and the legs are burning and the bums are burning, we'll have a little roll on this. So we sit on it and we roll. You can put it on the shoulders, the neck, while you're lying down. You know, the first time you go on, it does feel really weird, but you do get used to it. Lovely, lovely little, I would say, gift for the class to have. It's quite a nice thing to let them do that. So here we have, this is actually a yoga block, but I use these in the class sometimes as well. Not all the time. It just depends on the person, really. But I do have them available for clients. And then that one is the yoga Pilates block. So it's a lot thinner than the yoga brick. And this can be for heads. It can be, sometimes I put them between the knees, sometimes I put them at the end of the feet. We can sit on them if people's got tight hamstrings. So anything like that, you can use that for. It's like, we get creative with the blocks if it can help people to keep shoulders down, keep integrity in the body, give them feedback. So if we're doing spine twist, the feet are against it. Are the feet moving? Are they kicking the block down? So we use these a lot as feedback instruments rather than just under the head for comfort. And then our lovely little head cushions. So I love the head cushions. Paul doesn't really teach, but I like comforts in my life and luxury. So I tend to always use one of these, but I am slightly kyphotic anyway. Spending too many hours on the computer. So I do like to work with a cushion under my head, but not everybody needs one. And these again can be used between the legs, you know, giving the knees a squeeze, giving feedback under the head. What else do we do with them? Yeah, kind of those little bits and pieces. Maybe they want to do that and put it between the shoulder blades just for a little bit of relaxation when we're at the end of the class. So the cushions, they can be quite expensive, so we make our own. And then yoga mats, Pilates mats are preferential. So we do actually have thick mats in the studio, but you can use any mat for Pilates. It has its pros and cons. For some things, it's nicer to have a thicker mat, especially for the hip bones and the pubic. We actually have, I think you can maybe see, they're quite thick. They're about, I think, 1.5 inches, and they're like proper sturdy ones. So we do actually put pink, like, you know, you get the really thin yoga mats, we just stick them on the top just to protect them because they're not cheap. So people have zips and buttons, so we do put that on the top. But the nice thing about that is if you're going to do something like rocking or rolling back like a ball or anything, it can be quite painful on people's spines if you're on a really thin mat like these ones. So it has its pros and cons. Sometimes you don't get the feedback as much as you would as if you were on something quite hard. So sometimes we'll get clients that will actually come onto the floor, or they'll take the pink mat off because you can get a bit more feedback just from the blue one because it is quite thick. But really, is the Pilates, the mats are not going to make your practice. You can do it on the carpet if you want, or the kitchen floor. It doesn't really matter. Just matters that you're moving. So the next thing is, we've done those, is the rollers. So these we lie on, and it really throws you off balance. So often people, they can get quite frustrated because they're off balance, but that's the whole idea, is to throw you off balance, because it helps to strengthen your postural muscles, which we can't challenge your balance when you're lying flat on the floor. So we will often use these in the class. So we lie on it, so feet one end, head the other, and then we do a load of the normal Pilates exercises. We just do it on the roller, or you can have it under the bum over there, have it that way round. Again, there's lots of things that you can do with the roller. Again, you can have massage, which can be a little bit painful or a lot painful. So that is all the Pilates equipment that we use here at the studio. You might be able to see that big thing that looks like a sexual torture. That's called a reformer, and that has a tower on it. So that is for private lessons, which Paul does for people. I absolutely love the reformer. It is so versatile, and I still find it hard to believe that it's actually one of Joseph's inventions. When we got the reformer, Paul used to have an Olympic weight set with all of his weights and that, and he got rid of everything once we got the reformer because it is such a good piece of equipment. It's really good for rehabilitation, really good for isolating body parts, and people often think they've got to be advanced to get on the reformer, but actually the reformer makes the mat work a lot better. Gives you a better understanding of what we're actually asking when we're on the floor, because you can't really cheat on the reformer. It will give you a lot of feedback. So stunning piece of equipment. I absolutely love it. So you can have, there are studios out there, we don't, purely because of the size of our studio, have reformer classes. So you might have 6 or 8 reformers in a class, and then the teacher will give you a class on the reformer. So if you can get into one of them, that's like a week of Pilates in one session on the reformer. We'd love to do it. You can get stand-up reformers as well, but we've decided not to, just because we've got such a beautiful space here. I think just having all these reformers stood all over the place would ruin it. So I hope that helps you. So when you see all these crazy bits of equipment on YouTube, don't be scared. Like I said, in the UK, keep an eye on Gumtree or on eBay. You can get a lot of this stuff for super cheap. Lidl's has always got this kind of equipment for cheap as well. So you don't need to be spending a lot of money for this kind of stuff. Obviously in the studio we want the best for our clients, so we do, but you can get these pretty cheap. They're a different material, they're a bit more foamy. You can get them cheap on eBay or something. Again, for the head cushions, you can just use a normal cushion or take a towel, wrap it up. Weights, you can use water bottles, full of water, obviously. I think I might do that, empty water bottle. Tennis balls, golf balls are really good for the stretching. That you can use a ball, or you can use, I'm just trying to think off my head, so you can use like, I suppose you could use like a football or something like that. You can even just use the blocks for that. So you're not going to have the movement of the ring, but you can still put that between your knees and squeeze. So there's sometimes this might be a little bit harsh. I've got some ladies that are on warfarin, so they bruise really easily and their skin is very thin. So instead of that, I'll give them the ball. So they can still do the same thing with the ball. So if I were to invest in anything, I'd probably say like the ball, because that can offer you a balance challenge. It can offer, you can do the ring stuff with it. I would say this is probably one of the best ones that I would invest in. And then the bands, I would definitely invest in some bands. Like I said, everything else can be pretty much trying to think, you can find something that you can use in the house. So that's all the Pilates equipment. So I hope that helps you. Have a lovely day and subscribe to our channel where you can get mini workouts to keep you moving and feeling better. So lots of love and take care. Bye.